Hi, I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. I am standing on a yoga mat. If you don't have one, don't let that discourage you one bit. Grab a place in your house that's maybe carpeted, not too slippery, and you're going to be fine. I like to have a chair nearby just in case. This doesn't happen to be a practice where we'll necessarily use a chair specifically, but I think it's a great prop to have all the time. A couple of blocks. Maybe you have thick books that you can use as a substitute. And then a folded blanket, which can simply be a beach towel or the throw blanket from your couch. If you situate yourself so that you're facing me, I think that you're going to probably have the easiest time watching me if you need to watch me. And then we will meet together, standing in our mountain pose, feet hip distance, palms turn away from each other, chin parallel to the ground. It's a place where we can stop so that we can start. Soft bend to your knees. A sense of smiling your collarbones open as you turn your palms away from each other, but that happens at your shoulder joint. Feel your breath rise and fall. And see if you can let it rise and fall just through your nose. And if that's not working, it's fine. Consciousness around your breath is what I'm mostly looking for. 3 moments, just like this. Now, still standing tall in our mountain, interlace your hands behind your back. Drag those knuckles down towards the ground, but as you do that, it doesn't become an arch in your low back. You want to feel that you're drawing the belly in, you're letting that interlace drag down and further the smile that we have found in our collarbones. Now, bending at your elbows, take your interlace and rest it on your right hip, and then just draw your elbows a little bit towards each other. It might feel nice to ever so slightly let the right side of your face move towards your right shoulder, just testing the waters, seeing how it feels here. 2 moments. Lift your head up, drag your interlace down, and then relace your interlace so the other pinky finger is on the bottom. Come back to that understanding of not a dump, but an exploration of into the shoulders. Feet stay hip distance. A couple of moments here. And then tuck your interlace onto your left hip. Draw your elbows towards one another. And then decide if you want to let the left side of your head ever so slightly drop towards your left shoulder. A couple moments here. And then let your head lift up, your interlace drag down. Release so that your palms face out. Take a moment, maybe close your eyes and really feel yourself solid into the earth. Now, arms out to the side, thumbs face down, and either place the backs of your hands into the small of your back and find that uplift of your belly that we found with our interlace, or maybe begin to maneuver your hands towards a prayer behind your back. And I don't mean to turn my back on you, but I'm just showing you what that might look like, and maybe it's just on its way up or backs of the hands on the small of your back. Let's see if we can smile our collarbones open here also. And then just 2 breaths. Release your arms. Half salutation, inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips and take your hands to your thighs. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Smile your collarbones here too. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, and then float your arms along your sides. Terrific. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands onto your thighs. Inhale, traction, a little length into your spine, and then exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Float your arms along your sides. We'll maneuver our props. We want to do that mindfully. If you'd like to use blocks, place your blocks tallest and to the long edges of your mat, not directly underfoot. If you like to use a chair, and I kind of like to have both in place in case I decide at game time that I want to use one or the other. So your chair will be within reach at the front edge of your mat, blocks to either side of you, not underfoot. Our mountain can fit in between all of them. Inhale, arms out and up, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart, either hands onto the seat of your chair or hands onto your tall block. Step your left foot back, and now we're in a lunge position. I find it helpful often to step my right foot to the right so that I've got some sideways space and it doesn't make me feel like I want to swing my butt out to the right. So keep pinning your right hip back, and let your left hip move forward. Find the lift of your low belly and that sense of smiling your collarbones and also of standing in our mountain, even here, even now. 2 moments just feeling our foundation before we add on to it. We're coming upright. You may want to bend the back knee, thumbs to the sky, arms out to the side. Now, remember that steering right hip back and left hip forward. That's going to be important here. And like I said, you might want to bend the back knee. You could even carefully take your hands to your blocks and lower the back knee all the way to the ground if that feels more like you today. Thumbs face down, backs of the hands to the small of the back is perfect. If it feels right, you can move towards a prayer behind your back in this upright position. Remember, low belly lifting is so important. And dialing the right hip back and the left hip forward is going to be really key to our balance. Breathe here for a couple of moments. Cautiously free your arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Return your hands to your blocks or the seat of your chair with your belly firm. Step your left foot hip distance from your right, hands to thighs, inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape, and then float your arms along your side, palms face out. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, and then exhale, hinge at your hips, bring your hands to your thighs. Inhale, extend length through your spine, hands to the seat of your chair or to your blocks, and it's the right foot that steps back this time. We create a lunge on the ball of that back foot. You may want to heel toe your left foot over to the left so we have some sideways space. Left hip drawing back, right hip drawing forward, low belly lifting. A sense of mountain pose happening in our spine. And then maybe have a bit of bend in your back knee so that now when we come upright, thumbs to the sky, arms out to the side, low belly lifts, and we feel quite upright, almost like we're standing in our mountain. Now you want to think left hip back and right hip forward. Remember, you can return your hands to your blocks or seat and bring your back knee down anytime that feels like a better move. Thumbs face down, backs of your hands to the small of your back, smiling your collarbones. Low belly lifting. If crawling into a little bit more like a prayer behind your back feels like the right fit, you'll do it. And all of us breathe and meditate here, drawing that left hip back and right hip forward, finding a little bit of balance. 2 more moments. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Hands return to your blocks or to the seat of your chair, firm through your belly, and step your right foot hip distance from your left, hands to your thighs, inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape, and then float your arms along your side. Great, adding on, inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands onto your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, hands onto the seat of your chair or onto your block. Step your left foot back so that your right foot is forward. And this time, move in the direction of straightening that front leg. Keep your head higher than your hips as you do that. So it's a hinge at your hip, elongation through the spine. We're not rounding. We're not trying to fold so much as find a hinge and spaciousness. Keep your left hand on your block or the seat of your chair. With your right thumb to the sky, begin to turn open and think about smiling your collarbones in this twist. The other thing is, we're not letting it be a swing out of the right hip. Right hip pins back. Imagine that you have that prayer behind your back, or that feeling that you had when the backs of your hands were on the small of your back. I like to think of spinning my inner upper arms away from one another while I'm here. 2 moments with the front leg moving in the direction of being straight, but not even my front leg is fully straightened out. Unwind your right hand onto your block, rebend your front knee, step your left foot hip distance from your right, hands to your thighs, inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips, and then inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Float your arms along your side. Second side, inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands on your thighs. Inhale, traction, length, hands come to the seat of your chair or hands onto your block. Step your right foot back. We start out in our lunge shape. We still have that hugging of the left hip back. And then we just start to strategically straighten the left leg. It does not need to straighten all the way. Think of pressing into your left big toe mound. Remember, head stays higher than hips. Elongation through our spine. Right hand remains on our block or the seat of our chair. And then left thumb to the sky, and we start to turn it open. And it's not going to go very far. We remember the feeling of the backs of our hands on the small of our back, or the prayer behind our back. And we let it turn at the waist with our left hip drawing back. We just stay with it for a couple moments here. Just tinkering in our laboratory, seeing what's there to discover. And then gently unwind your left hand onto the seat of your chair or to your block. Bend your left knee, step hip distance with your right foot, hands to your thighs, inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape, and then float your arms along your side. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips and take your hands to traction onto your thighs so that when you inhale, it's the longest spine you've had yet. Keep this long spine, place your hands onto the seat of your chair or onto your tall blocks and step your left foot back. We're back into our lunge shape. You're swinging your right hip back and your left hip forward, although there's not like a big swing, it's more of a hug. Left hand stays on the seat of your chair or onto your block, right thumb to the sky. You remember the feeling of that prayer behind your back or the backs of your hands on the small of your back. We now have a nice deep bend in our right knee as we explore a twist that smiles open just like our back bends, our interlaces, our prayers behind our back. 2 moments here. And then unwind your right hand onto your block, firm through your belly, and step your left foot hip distance from your right, hands to thighs, inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, and then float your arms along your side. Second side of that, inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands come onto your thighs. Inhale, traction that length. Keep the length with your hands on the seat of your chair or onto your blocks and step your right foot back. We're situated into our lunge. Left hip dials back, right hip dials forward a bit. The length in our spine is the majesty of our mountain. Right hand stays on your block or on the seat of your chair. Left thumb to the sky, and we twist open now with a deep bend in our left knee. We're rotating our ribs towards the left. We're breathing deeply, even though twists sometimes make you feel, me feel, like we want to try to hold our breath, but we're not. We're holding a pose. We're not holding our breath. 2 more moments here. Unwind, left hand onto your block, firm through your belly, right foot hip distance from left. Hands onto your thighs, inhale. Traction that length, and then exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Float your arms along your side. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hip hinge and hands to thighs. Inhale, traction, some length. Take your hands onto the seat of your chair or your blocks. Step your left foot back. This time, lower your back knee, which might mean grab your folded blanket and put it underneath your left knee. So I want you to be real cautious that that feels okay to you with your knee. And I like to keep my back toes curled under, so my left toes curled under. I'm using my blocks. You can also use the seat of your chair. That might mean that you need to maneuver it a little bit. Straighten your front leg. Dig the heel in and curl your toes back towards you. Even here, our head is higher than our hips. It's a hinge at our hips and a feeling of elongation through our spine. Stay with your breath. Probably a little bit of a deeper stretch into our right hamstring here. A couple of moments just as we are. Stay with the lower body positioning. We did something very much like this standing. Left hand stays on your block. Right thumb to the sky, we twist open. Now try to keep, if you can, the hinge at your hip and the right hip drawing back. So we're not going to let it swing out to the side, although it's likely going to try to do that. Find a smile in your collarbones and anywhere else. And stay with our twist for a few moments. It might be that during our twist you turn your right thumb to face down and take half of a prayer behind your back, or just back of the hand to the small of the back. So we're sprinkling a few things that we did into our twist and our stretch. A moment of silence here so we can meditate. Meditate on a smile. Now free left or right thumb to the sky, right hand onto your block. Bend your front knee. Now if you need a moment to take that back knee off your blanket and then back down again, totally understood. Upright, thumbs to the sky. Thumbs face down, backs of the hands to the small of your back, or start to make a prayer behind your back. So backs of the hands is perfect. Smile your collarbones and lift your low belly. And then lastly, turn, turn, turn to your right. Maybe not a very big turn, that's fine. Keep hugging that right hip back. Be mindful that I want your left knee to be okay. I know we're on it for a while here. So if you ever need to carefully unwind and place your hands on your blocks and lift that knee off the ground, I get it. 2 more moments. Now, unwind so that you're facing forward, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, hands onto the seat of your chair or to your blocks. Take that back knee off your mat. It's going to feel kind of nice to do that. Step your left foot hip distance from your right, hands to your thighs, inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, and then float your arms along your side. Second side of that, inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, hands come onto the seat of your chair or onto your blocks, and we'll step the right foot back. Lower the knee and carefully situate, I would say most of us, blanket underneath the knee, and keep the right toes curled under so we've got extra padding for that back knee. Once you're there, straighten your left leg, dig the heel in and curl the toes back towards you. Hinge at your hip and elongate through your spine. Smile your collarbones even here, even now. We let this steep for a few moments. I'll be silent so that you just get the stretch. Stretch in your hamstring, but stretch in our attention span, our ability to be still and quiet. Right hand stays on your block, left thumb to the sky as we spin open. Now try to hug that left hip back towards the back edge of your mat. Spin the inner upper arms away from each other, make a little space. A couple of moments here. Option, while we're here, to turn the left thumb down and bring the back of your left hand to the small of your back, or even fashion a bit of a half prayer behind your back. Make sure that hasn't shrugged shoulders into ears. Keep hugging your left hip back. Just a couple more juicy moments here. Free your left thumb to the sky. Unwind, take your left hand onto the chair or your block. Bend your front knee. Let's just take our back knee off the ground for a second. In between. Make sure everything's padded nicely as you return your right knee. And then we come upright, thumbs to the sky, arms out to the side in our lunge. We're still hugging that left hip back. And then thumbs face down, backs of the hands to the small of your back, or a prayer behind your back here. Draw your low belly towards the spine. And lastly, turn to your left. And it probably won't be the deepest twist we've done, but we're turning on a smile, right? We've got a twist, so there's a turn there, and a smile suggested by what our hands are doing, whether that's a prayer or backs of the hands to the small of the back. 2 moments here. Unwind, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Hands to your blocks or the seat of your chair. Just take your back knee off your mat for a moment, so we give that a release. And then return your right knee and your left knee onto your mat. So we go through hands and knees. Your blocks can go off to the side. You can move your chair if it feels like it's a little too close to you. And then find your folded blanket, and I would say fold it another level up. So we've got a pretty high bench to sit on. Once you have your bench, and that could also be seated on a block or on a cushion from your couch, a wide-legged seat. So a V shape with your legs, curl the toes back towards you. I like to take my fingertips on the ground to smile my collarbones in this pose. You can also situate your blocks on either side of your hips, but I'd like us to be on the front of the sit bones, so not rounding and back of the sit bones. We're seated tall. We're getting a really great stretch in the inner thighs and hamstrings. And it's opposite when we were on our knee a moment ago. So it's a nice counter pose there. Option to take your arms out to the side, thumbs face down, and place the backs of your hands to the small of your back here, smiling your collarbones open. You might even climb your prayer up your back. But keep the oomph in the legs, curling your toes back. Stay in the forward position of your sit bones, not rounded and collapsing. And then maybe close your eyes or soften your gaze for a full minute of meditation in this pose. Last 30 seconds, you can do it. See if you can find even more smile to your collarbones, to the length of your spine. Keep curling those toes back towards you. Now, if you have a prayer behind your back or the backs of your hands to the small of your back, release your arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. And then for all of us, help it along. Take your hands to the outer thighs and then just bend your knees and place your feet on the ground, onto your mat, and come off of your perch that way. Move your folded blanket off to the side, lie down on your back. And once you're lying down on your back, snuggle your shoulder blades underneath you and feel the smiling collarbones and the feedback of what's happening in your back body against the ground. Step your feet as wide as your mat, and then gently let your knees windshield wiper over to the right for a twist. And pause. Come back through center, and now the windshield wipers will go over to your left. And we pause here for a moment. And then come to center. Let your feet be as wide as your mat and your knees fall in on each other. Take a moment, lift your hips, elongate your tailbone. Let your hips lightly come to the ground and either stay like this or straighten one leg and then the other. Feet flop open, close your eyes, maybe even cover your eyes. Shavasana, final meditation. Fall into the arms of the earth. Full surrender. You're always welcome to stay here in your final Shavasana meditation as long as you'd like. If you're ready to find your way back, move your fingers and toes lightly. Maybe even stretch arms and legs away from each other. Bend your knees and place your feet on the ground. Roll gently to either side. Use the strength of your arms so you can let your head be the last thing to come up, and find any comfortable way to sit. Let your palms rest up or down. Smile, your collarbones open. And maybe there's a smile that rumbles underneath the surface too when we practice. A smile that we can wear with us out into the world and share with the people we bump up against. I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I look forward to us doing it again together soon.